everyone, you've got an extra video. I watched Phil yesterday, and Philip DeFranco. I'll link the video in question up above. And one of the stories kind of made me realise that we've sort of underestimated the whole Jake and Logan Paul thing. Us on new media, anybody, whether you're a baby YouTuber like myself, or a medium-sized YouTuber, or a big, or the biggest, new media and mainstream media are clashing, and what's going on with the Pauls and the Team 10 house is only making matters worse for us. We've had the issues with mainstream media writing hit pieces about certain members of the community, including Phil, the Wojcicki and PewDiePie, where they pull things out of the air, and because they're mainstream media they can get away with it, and it's sort of translating into this situation. Probably, if you don't know anything, what's happened is the Team 10 house, which is where Logan, Jake and several others live, have been being people of their age, and with the fact that they are quite young, and they have access to an abundance of money. They are doing things, questionable things, like the pool was empty for some reason, so they threw a lot of stuff in it and set it on fire. Where they actually freely allow their fans to know exactly where they live, which causes the whole street to be full of teenage girls. And also on top of that, there's the fact that they have no care whatsoever about anything to do with how to be a considerate neighbour, and the houses are quite close to each other. Phil shows actual bit of, I think he shows the picture of the house, because it shows the line of girls outside, and you can see how close the neighbours are, and it's unbelievable how close they actually are. And they're partying until all hours in the morning. They are doing stupid things, and there's camera footage of them doing it. And what's happened is the neighbours, a large group of the neighbours in the area, have formed a lawsuit against them for various reasons. There's been noise complaints, there's been security complaints, there's been various complaints. And what's happening is there's going to be this huge lawsuit between the Team 10, I'll call them, and all of his neighbours. And when mainstream media questioned Jake about it, and he's like, "Oh, that sucks. I wish they'd come and join in that." And it's like, he might not have said, "Wish they'd come and join in that," but he didn't seem to have any semblance or resignation of the fact that it was his own fault that this was happening. It was his own fault that this situation was occurring. He seemed to have no cognizance of the fact that it was his fault that this was happening. And that is an issue, because a lot of YouTubers are trying to make names for themselves. They are trying to be seen as part of the media. Philip DeFranco, he wants to be seen as a news agency, which he can do because he has the clout behind him. And then you've got the Young Turks, again another news agency. You've got other people that have their own companies that are based around their channel, like Mark, like The Gabby Show, and several others. And how they employ people, and they want to be seen as businessmen and businesswomen, and that they want to have this respect of not just everybody that watches them, but the mainstream media as well. The amount of times where the Gabby Show has gone to auditions, or she's done things for mainstream media, like music videos or whatever, she's had issues because a lot of people don't view YouTube as valid. And things like this are actually affecting it. And also, it is actually also, I don't know if they realise this, but it's also tarnishing the Disney brand. Now, a lot of you might not be aware, but Jake Paul was part of Disney for a while. Well, I think it was Jake. And the two of them, and I don't know whether he still is or not, and Disney already have a bad reputation with their stars, if you will, with their talent. How they all, after they've left Disney, something always happens. It happened with Christina, it happened with Justin, it happened with Britney, it happened with Miley, it's happened with a lot. I think there's only a handful of people that it hasn't happened with. And the fact that he's making this mockery of not just Disney but YouTube as well doesn't help matters. He doesn't realise he's only thinking of him and his crew. He's not thinking of the entire platform. He doesn't think that his bad behaviour is anything that should reflect upon on anybody else, but it is doing, because YouTube is, even though it's been around for 10 years, the fact that YouTubers are multimillionaires is relatively in its infancy. And it's only really happened like the last 4 or 5 years, and the fact that you can make a lot of money on YouTube is shocking to people that aren't on YouTube. Another factor is he did a video, he and a couple of his guys did a video not long ago where each male in the group and their respective partners got married in Vegas with ring pops. That is a stealing of a video idea from another YouTuber, a smaller YouTuber, one I have a lot of respect for, which is Social Repose, who did the same thing last year with his wife. And the video framing, almost everything was almost identical, and they seem to be viewing a lot of this as nothing but a game and a party and a lifelong party. We can make money, we can do this. I'm hoping, sounds bad, but I'm hoping that someday soon that what's happened with so many other people that this has happened with happens. Like the whole Rebecca Black thing. It was great for like 6-12 months and then it crashed. The same with so many other YouTubers that's happened with. There's only literally a handful where it's actually not happened with, where they've actually managed to stay relatively on top. You're talking about like Markiplier, Jenna Marbles, PewDiePie, Jacksepticeye. But this lawsuit, in the meantime, could damage anybody on YouTube's validity of being recognised as somebody of business, or somebody of equality, or somebody with respect. And also, if that does happen, and by this point they'll probably run through all of the money, it's going to come back and kick them in the butt, because they're thinking, oh well, I can do this, I could go and do this job, and you know, if everything falls through. But considering a large a portion of their life is on YouTube, one quick search brings everything up. Forget your job. It's like me. I try my best that if I say something's my opinion, then 9 times out of 10, it's either my opinion or it's fact. I will tell you when it's either. So it's my opinion that I don't like Johnny Sparkle BS, that I don't like John Cooking, that I don't like Onision, etc. But it is a fact that each one of those 3 have done things in the past that are questionable. And when I do videos about them, I try my best to have the evidence to back me up on things. And on this channel, on this platform, you're allowed to say your opinion. Nobody has an issue with that. However, what we do have an issue with is you making it seem like the world revolves around you when it doesn't, and things like this that are literally just gonna really, really ravish the whole platform. Which lots of the younger YouTubers, the more entitled YouTubers, are doing. I know a lot of us older YouTubers are very much cognizant of the fact that we know this, but a lot of the really young ones don't seem to. I want this platform to do great things. I want this platform to do good things. You have people like John Lorden, Bob Dyke, Kendall, that are trying to do things constructive with their channel, where they are trying to help solve mysteries, solve murders, solve missing people, things like that, which I do a little bit of, but not a lot of. Obviously I've only got, my last check I think I was at 62 subscribers, and I believe that in this platform there is the exceptional case of doing good. You've also got the likes of Phil, who's trying to educate people, who's trying to tell people, you know, to say this is what's happening in the world today, and you know, this is what's happened, and then he states his opinion, and then obviously by extension sort of the young Turks as well. Not that they are my favourite people on the planet, but and then you have the likes of Markiplier, who's raised I think nearly 2 million by now for charities. The money doesn't even touch him, doesn't go anywhere near him. He contacts the charity that he wants to do that week or that month. They set up a link, and that's how it's done. And you have YouTubers that do that. You have YouTubers that do things for charity. Another example, the tour that Ricky and the Gabby Show went on last year, they said, we don't want gifts, but please bring toys and we can then give them to children's hospitals. Which is, to me, the better way of doing things, because you can give a YouTuber a gift, yeah, but they're not always going to be able to use it or do something with it, especially if it's food. Whereas if you give them something like a toy to give to a children's charity, like in this case, then it makes more sense. The Gabby Show's done numerous things for charity in the past, and when you have the likes of these that are literally just seeing their fans as nothing but money making and paychecks, so to speak. All they want off their fans is the money, that's it. They want them to watch the video and they want them to buy the merch. That's it. They just want money off them. And I'm hoping that people fall out of love with this crew pretty soon, or that the crew implodes pretty soon, because there's already been some issues within the crew already. With a bit of luck, this will all resolve itself, but this is really harming a lot of people's reputation and jobs, and the polls don't care because it's not affecting them yet. That isn't a threat, that's just me saying that something is likely to happen, because that's always what happens, and it falls apart. It's happened before. It happened with My Digital Escape, it's happened with other collaborative channels, including the Tanner one, and this and the whole Team 10 is going to fall apart. And I just hope that the polls realise how big of an issue this actually is and start to think of the long term rather than the bank balance. I know it's pretty hard when you're getting that kind of money, but it's like me, I don't want millions. I want to have a decent house where the mortgage is paid, so the husband doesn't have to have a full-time job, and you know that we're pulling enough money to pay the bills and a little bit of spending money. But I don't want a huge amount of money. I don't want that. We have figured out a video to do on Friday, which is going to be, the husband's going to give me 5 questions on Doctor Who and 5 questions on Star Wars, and then I'm going to get him back the week after, and I might do him 5 on YouTube and 5 on well, there's a couple of YouTubers that I know he follows. I might have to give him a few softballs because there's a lot of things we watch that we don't have in common, but there's some that we do. Eventually, something the polls will fall out of favour at some point. Hopefully nothing majorly bad will happen between now and then. I hope. I cross my fingers. I just hope that we can weather this like we've weathered everything else. It just doesn't help at all with the mainstream media at all. Oh, hope you've enjoyed the extra video. Anybody who's a Jake Pauler who's left me a nasty comment, don't bother, because it'll just get deleted. End of. That's what I do with the ones from Cookie Fan, that's what I do with the Joe Sparkle fans. Never had Onision's fans come and attack me though. Just strange, you thought that they would have, considering they attack other people, but they don't attack me, so... Oh god. Anyway, I'll stop babbering on some more. So, with that being said, stay safe, have fun, be good, and I will see you tomorrow.